An unexpected twist on Piers Morgan Uncensored turned into one of the most explosive moments in live television history. Across from Piers Morgan sat Denzel Washington.com, collected, sharply dressed, eyes steady. You could feel something was coming. Morgan leaned back, wearing that trademark smirk, fresh off what he clearly thought was a knockout critique of Washington's recent Capitol Hill testimony. His British accent dripping with condescension. "Mr. Washington," Morgan began adjusting his tie with a smug grin, "surely even you must admit your recent political performances have been more about building your brand than actually serving the American people." What happened next sent shockwaves across the media world. Denzel reached into a sleek leather folder and placed a document on the table with calm precision. The camera zoomed in. United States District Court, Southern District of New York. "Actually, Piers," Denzel said, voice low and unwavering, "I'm here to serve you with something else entirely. Beat. You've just been served with a $20 million defamation lawsuit." 5 seconds of silence. That's all it took. Just enough time to watch Piers Morgan's face glitch from confusion to disbelief. Then panic. The clip of his frozen expression racked up millions of views within 48 hours. Morgan had always thrived on chaos. A former tabloid editor and a Got Talent judge turned professional provocateur. He used Uncensored to jab at American politics, especially its progressive voices. His style was sharp, interruptive, and crafted to corner his guests. For 6 months straight, that spotlight had been aimed squarely at Denzel Washington. Segment after segment, filled with mockery, name-calling, and attempts to delegitimize his patriotism. But then Morgan crossed the line. Denzel, a man of principle and a trained legal mind, understood the weight of words and the legal boundaries around defamation. The final straw came 3 weeks earlier when Morgan aired a segment titled The Denzel Washington Problem, claiming Denzel had fabricated his academic history, was under ethics investigation, and had hidden financial conflicts. Every word was a lie. And Denzel had the proof. Morgan's team expected another ambush. Instead, they got a masterclass in precision and on-air counterstrike. The interview began predictably. "Mr. Washington," Morgan said, narrowing his eyes, "your recent appearances have been described as theatrical grandstanding." Denzel responded with steady grace. "Piers, when you stand up to power, really stand up, some people will always call it a performance. But that's exactly why I was at the Capitol, to speak truth and hold leadership accountable." Morgan pressed harder. "Some of your tactics have been called questionably, your confrontation with Justice Alito, for example." Denzel cut in, polite but assertive. Legal scholars praised that exchange. "My preparation was airtight. You may not like the delivery, but the facts are solid." Morgan's tone sharpened. "Let's talk credentials. You're 44, barely 2 years into politics, yet you speak like a seasoned policymaker. Isn't that presumptuous?" Still calm, Denzel replied, "My record speaks. I'm a licensed attorney, trained in civil rights law, graduated from Forum, JD from NYU, over a decade of federal practice." Then came the twist. "And you, Piers," Denzel said, "what legal training do you bring to this conversation?" Morgan stiffened. "I'm a journalist, Mr. Washington. I ask the questions." Denzel cracked a half smile. Just clarifying who's doing the interrogating. Producers were likely screaming in Morgan's earpiece to take back control. Morgan opened his folder. "Let's get specific. Questions have been raised about your financial disclosures, your lobbyist connections, your transparency." Denzel sat up, voice firm. "Go ahead, Piers, be specific. I have nothing to hide." Morgan pounced. "Reports say your academic records are under review. You're being investigated, and you've failed to disclose financial conflicts." The studio fell silent. Denzel's voice dropped into a courtroom cadence. "Piers, you need to be very careful now. Are you stating, on air, that my degree is under review? That I'm under investigation? That I've hidden financial ties?" Sensing danger, Morgan said, "These are concerns raised by credible sources. The American people deserve answers. And these so-called credible sources, Denzel asked. Who, exactly? Morgan brushed it off. I'm not required to reveal sources. That's when Denzel dropped the hammer. You just made several specific, false claims about me. On live television, he paused. My law degree has never been questioned. I'm not under investigation. I have no undisclosed financial conflicts, and I believe you knew these statements were false. He leaned forward. 3 weeks ago, your team contacted my office. My staff sent back documented proof that every one of those claims was baseless. Morgan's confidence began to crack. I stand by my reporting, he muttered. You haven't reported anything, Denzel shot back. You've echoed lies. You've ignored evidence. And now, you're doubling down on garbage you know isn't true. Morgan tried to push back. Hold on, no, you hold on, Denzel said, voice rising not in anger, but in fire. For months, you've made false statements about my background, my integrity, my honesty without a shred of truth. He reached into his briefcase again. Calm, methodical. You want accountability, he said. Let's start with yours. He laid another folder on the table, thick with transcripts, emails, evidence, legitimate journalism checks, facts. Offers the subject a chance to respond. When it gets something wrong, it issues corrections. You did none of that. He opened the folder. Here's every false statement. Every instance where your team received the truth and chose to ignore it. Morgan looked shaken. And I have evidence, Denzel said, that you made those statements with actual malice. That means you either knew they were false, or you didn't care. Morgan tried one last deflection. You're upset, but threatening legal action on air, Denzel cut in. I'm not threatening anything, Piers. He pulled out the complaint and placed it down, heavy with consequence. I'm taking it. The moment the papers hit the table, the room changed. Piers, Stephen Morgan, Denzel said, formally, you are hereby served with a complaint filed in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Morgan blinked. You can't and live television. Oh, it's very real, Denzel said, and it's fitting, because that's where you defamed me. The complaint named allegations. Defamation per se. False light, invasion of privacy, interference with business relations. You questioned my qualifications, my ethics, my fitness to serve, Denzel said. And you did it knowing the truth. Morgan glanced desperately toward the control booth. The producers were motionless. We're seeking $20 million in damages, Denzel continued, plus punitive damages, plus a court-ordered retraction, and your show, your social media, and everywhere else these lies spread. 20 million, Morgan croaked. Denzel didn't pause. Given your reach and the frequency of your lies, our legal experts say $20 million is conservative. He pulled another document. October 19th you said, I faked my law degree. That's provably false. October 22nd you claimed I was under house ethics investigation. Also false. November 4th you alleged undisclosed financial ties. False again. My disclosures are public record. Your team saw them, you chose to ignore them. With each fact, Morgan seemed to shrink. Then came the final blow. These, Denzel said, holding up a stack of emails, are from your production team. They show you were given accurate information before you made those false claims. He read the dates. October 12th, October 20th, November 1st. Each one, a request from Morgan's team, and a detailed response from Denzel's staff, disproving the claims. This wasn't negligence, Denzel said. This was deliberate. Morgan whispered, we get a lot of emails. And you ignored the ones with the truth, Denzel said. Morgan muttered, can't we handle this off camera? Denzel smiled slightly. No, Piers. You tried to destroy my reputation in public. It's only right you face the consequences in public. He placed the final paper on the desk. Service is now complete. Then turned to the camera. Since we're live, consider yourself officially served. He gathered his folders, stood, and paused before walking off set. And Piers, he said over his shoulder, next time you try to destroy someone's name, You might want to get your facts straight, because in this country, we have laws, and you're about to learn them. He walked out cool, composed, unshaken. The camera lingered on Morgan, pale, silent, the smirk gone. 10 long seconds passed before he finally muttered, "We'll be right back after the break." But the damage was done. Within minutes, the internet exploded. The clip of Denzel calmly serving Piers Morgan lit up every social platform. Millions of views. Harvard law professors called it a textbook example of how to counter media defamation. British headlines turned. Advertisers froze. Talk TV's stock dropped 14%. Morgan's brand was in freefall. 3 months later, Morgan's legal team filed a motion to dismiss. Denzel's team hit back hard with recordings from inside Morgan's own production meetings. In one, Morgan could be heard saying, "Yeah, that claim probably isn't true, but it'll make good TV." That single line shifted the tide. Discovery revealed that network execs knew the claims were false. They aired them anyway. For ratings, lawsuits followed, government inquiries, a global reckoning. A poll 6 months later showed 72% of the public supported legal consequences for media figures who spread falsehoods. Washington v. Morgan became a landmark moment studied in journalism ethics, defamation law, and political science.